Hello, everyone. Happy Sunday to you all. I'm sure you guys had a wonderful Sunday service today. Please, if you're here, if you can just say a word, drop a word on the comment section. So okay, we have Jeffrey, you're welcome. Mr. Shegun Fatimo, you're welcome. Thank you so much, my lovely sis Queen Anastasia. I do appreciate it. Thank you so much, Mercy, for joining me this evening. I do appreciate every one of you. Okay, so I'm just going to go straight into today's conversation, into today's topic, so we don't spend so much time. Like I said last time, I was unable to finish everything that I prepared that I wanted to share with all of us about singleness. But today we will be going into the practical steps, more or less, on maintaining our singleness. Please, if you haven't watched my first video, the video that I did about singleness, you can check that video on my timeline. It's there. So you will have a full definition that I gave about singleness. And I said that being single is not really the problem that we have. It's just that we've got the wrong definition of singleness, and that is why it's so difficult for us to actually live out what we are supposed to live. And then you find some of us bowing down to culture, bowing down to society demands, bowing down to traditions. You know, for example, like a lady, they said, oh, once you're 25 or you're 26, you know, it's time to get married, and all those kind of you know, things. So because we have the wrong definition of singleness. So please, if you haven't watched that video, please, after this one, you can go and watch the first one. We will just be continue from where we stopped last time. Thank you so much, Peace, for joining me. Happy Sunday to every one of you that are just coming in. Okay, so what are the ways we can maintain our singleness even into marriage? I'm going to get into the marriage aspect later on as I round up the conversation. But for this one, it's just going to be just for our singles, that's our unmarried people. Pastor Anu, thank you so much. I'm doing really great. Thank you so much. Okay, so the first way to maintain your singleness is to know who you are, is to discover your purpose. A lot of people actually, especially for we Christians, we always pray that, God, I want to do your will. What is your will for me? The will of God is basically the purpose that God has created us to. Part of it is the purpose that God has created us to fulfill here on earth. So discovering your purpose is basically doing the will of God. So you don't necessarily need to pray. You don't need to fast for you to discover your purpose. You just need to take a pen and a paper and sit down with yourself and write down all the things that you know how to do from when you were born up until this moment. Anything that you can do. If you know how to cook, if you know how to think, if you know how to criticize, if you know how to argue, if you know how to organize things, if you know how to save money, anything that you know how to do, just write all of them down in that book. Once you write all of them in that sheet of paper that you have, the next thing you want to do is to check from all those things that you've written down, which are your abilities. You know, you want to pick out some of the ones that you can do naturally, some of the ones that come to you without struggle. You don't need to you don't need to stammer on some of them. You don't need to struggle. They just come naturally to you. And you also want to ask yourself that, oh, if I have to be waking up every 3 a.m. in the morning when I am enjoying my sleep, will I love to do this? So those are some of the questions you want to ask yourself whilst you're trying to pick out from all the lists that you have made. For example, like me, if you wake me up, regardless of how tired I am, you wake me up with a conversation about women, about singles, or about abused women, or some certain things, I am happy to talk until the next generation. I will be talking. I never get tired of talking. Everybody knows me on that one. So those are some of the things that you want to ask yourself. And you also want to ask yourself as well that what is that thing that gives me, that when I do it, it gives me satisfaction. It gives me fulfillment. It's just like, if I get into it, oh my God, it's just like as if I'm in heaven. From those lists you made, you want to be writing another, let's say you can divide the line. You want to write those ones as you're asking yourself those questions. You want to write them on the next line. You want to be, as you ask yourself, you're putting them down on the other side. And another thing is, you also want to ask yourself, for example, for those of us that are from Africa in Nigeria, I know that there are so many youths that are very passionate about the country. There are so many youths that when it comes to anything about the government, oh my God, they get pissed a lot. They are so angry. So ask yourself, from this list that I have made, what is that thing that if I think about it, if this thing is going wrong, it gives me pain? Or if it's going right, it gives me it gives me like this joy. I'm happy about it. Like, I will use myself as an example. You see, if I meet any man that is treating a woman nicely, lovely, kind, he's treating her with respect, he's honoring her, it gives me so much joy. Like, I have this satisfaction inside my heart. If I have the opportunity, I feel like carrying that man and putting him on my head and running around the street, and so that everybody can hail him, But at the same time, if I see any guy treating any woman, I am ready to in fact, if they give me a koboko, I'm ready to flog this person so badly. So those are all the things you want to ask yourself whilst you separate those things. There are some women that are very good with organizing things. There are some women that they are very good with cooking, fashion, makeup. There are some men as well that they are very good in writing. They are very good with creativity, coming up with things, So those are all the things you want to put down on another side. So from those things that you've written, you want to take those things and then pick out 3 of them that you know how to do best. When you pick out 3 of them, you want to go and do research on them. Get all the materials. Right now we have so many materials on YouTube, Google, books, in fact, we even have seminars. So many information is out there for us. So long as they are the correct information, you want to go and get those information. If it's on business, if it's on if it's on business, whatever it is that you can do really, really well, you pick out those 3 things, and then again you do research on them. You spend time. You can Google as well, what are the careers that comes with all those things. Like, when I found out that talking is one of my strong points, I now decided to go and check what are the things that I can do with my mouth, like talking. What are the things that I can do with it? I realized that I can train people, I can coach people, I can give advice, I can counsel people, I can do so many things just talking, so long as the talking is correct, is I'm passing out good information. So you do research on that, So it's not such a, you can, as you can see, it's not such a big trouble discovering your purpose. It's not something that you have to go and you don't need to disturb God about it. You just need to sit down with yourself and just do all these things that I have mentioned. So, and another thing that I also want us to understand about our purpose is that the purpose that God has created us for is not really for us to use it for our own personal gain. It's for us to use it for the world. Remember, the Bible says that we are the light of the world and we are the salt of the earth. There are so many of us that we sit down in our houses, we judge our leaders, but God has given us that area of life to go and dominate, to go and be the good leaders, if only we train ourselves properly and do like the things that I've mentioned earlier. There are some of us, we complain that why do women dress and expose themselves? I mean, if you become a very good fashion designer, you can train other women, groom them, and then you can use your fashion industry, but you have to make sure you are the best at what you do. You make sure you are the best. So you want to take that industry, take it by storm, and then teach people how to dress, teach women how they can look good without exposing their body, how they can put on good clothes without, exposing all their self, all their body outside. So the purpose that God has created us is not really for us to just for ourselves. It's not. It's for us to go out there and save the world. It's for us to go out there and save the decayed world. And I also want to say this, that there is nobody that on this earth that is without a purpose. There is nobody that God created and he didn't give that person something to do. It's a lie. Each and every one of us has something to do. And I also want to stress this fact for some of us that are we are very religious. I also want to say that what you do in the church, like being an usher or like in the hospitality department, it's a good thing, but there is something that God has called you to do that is greater than whatever it is that you're doing. And you are not meant to stay in wherever you are, let's say in the church or wherever. You're not supposed to stay there. You are meant to, develop that thing that you just realize you can do, and then go into the world and see how you can be able to save your world. So that is the first thing, discovering your purpose. Discovering your purpose. Once you can discover your purpose, you already know who you are. So there are some people that they want to introduce themselves. They said, hello, my name is blah 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 blah. I am they can say a trainer, a fashion designer, I'm a business analyst, I'm a consultant, I'm a this, I'm a that. So people can identify you with what you do. People can identify you with what you do. So that is the first thing, discovering your purpose. And then knowing what you are born to do is not enough. You must have a vision. You must have a vision. You must have like an end. Vision is like something that is not with your physical eyes that you are able to harness your vision. It's with your inner eyes that you are able to see the final goal. You must have a vision. If, for example, you want to be a business, you want to have a business, or you want to be a fashion designer, let's use that for example. What you need to do is have a vision that I want to be a world, as in let the world know who you are. For example, I know there is this guy in Nigeria. He's a fashion designer. His name is Frank Stitches, and there is another lady as well that I know as well. Her name is Anne Stitches. I mean, so let's say for example, when people know this, when you have this great vision, like where you're going, you say, okay, by the time I work on myself. I invest time. I become the best. I want the whole entire world not just to know me, but I want to save the whole entire fashion industry, the entire fashion industry. I want to save the whole entertainment industry. Or if your passion or your gift is singing, you want to make sure that you want to use you want to use that your singing to save the whole musical industry, or however they call it. At the end of the day, you have it in the back of your mind that it's a kingdom assignment. You're singing, you're doing what you're doing, but what is in your mind is just trying to take back that specific area of life back to God. So you must have a vision. Like me, one of my vision is to make sure that the rate of women that are abused, especially single women in relationship and in families and all those things, is really reduced. That is one of my vision, to make sure that it comes down to the minimum, in fact, -0, that we will live on this earth without making women cry, unless if they choose to cry. Making anything that will just make women to be troubled or touch their skin or even touch the little part of their eye. That is one of my vision. So you must have that thing in the back of your mind, what you want to do. And having a vision is not enough to have it on your head. You have to put it down on a book. Get a diary or get a book. Write everything down. Everything. I want to do this. I want to do that. Put everything. It doesn't matter how big that thing is. Even if you say you want to become the president, or you want to be the one that will save nations, put it down. Write it down. So long as that thing is from God, it is never impossible. I want to tell you, no matter how huge, even if your family, like Joseph, his family thought that his dream was too big for him, but they were only looking at Joseph in the present. They were not looking at Joseph in the future with this huge vision. So write it down, put it down. It doesn't matter how big it is. Write it down. And when you write it down, the next thing you want to do is this. You want to break down that vision in goals, and you want to break it down in plan. Like, if I want to be the president, what are the things that I can do from where I am to take me to the seat of presidency? What is it that I can do? Okay, now I need to go to school, or I need to educate myself. I need to know more about politics. I need to, not politics the way they do it, but politics based on, I don't know how to describe it, but it's just basically, what are the things you want to write down? What are the things that I can do daily to get me to that final point that I want to get to? I'll use myself as an example. My plan is this. For me to be able to reach out to every woman, I need to make sure daily I am doing something. I have a plan of a particular thing that is going to get me to reach out to every woman. If I'm using Facebook, or if I'm using Instagram, or if you are using Twitter to advertise what you're doing, you want to make sure that it is whatever you're doing is pointing you towards your goal. You want to become the master in that craft. You want to add value to yourself. You want to spend time reading, every knowledge, basically, you need to gather every single day. Just make sure you are doing something that points you towards your goal. And that is why, for some of us that are in Africa, we see that we study so many courses. At the end of the day, we graduate from school. We are not even master in one course, because we are just struggling to pass all the exams. But that is not the case. What is the case is you want to make sure that you become a master in what you are doing. And to become a master, you have to make sure you have a plan. If you want to be a model, you need to know everything that needs to know. You need to know about modeling. You need to make sure every day you are practicing your catwalk. If you want to be a fashion designer, you want to make sure every day you're reading, you're checking how to cut clothes, how to sew, how to do, what are the color combination, how the threadings. If you want to open up a business, you want to know everything that has to do with business. You want to know the financial aspects. You want to know every single thing. But daily, just make sure you break it down into plans. Daily, you are doing something that draws you close to what you are, you want to do. So the third point that I want to make is what I call 2 legs in the pot to produce the best wine. 2 legs in the pot to produce the best wine. I don't know if some of us know about the way they make wine, like, you know, some of these wines. I used to watch them on TV where they have to put 2 legs in the grape and they are just mashing it, and then, you know, just to like smoothing the grape or something. I hope so. But my point is, both of their legs have to be in that pot or wherever the grape is. So what am I trying to say? I'm trying to say that you have to be 100% committed to your vision, to your purpose, to that which you want to do. You have to be 100% committed. 2 of your legs have to be inside your hand, your mind, your emotion. Everything in you has to respond to that purpose. Everything has to be committed. And what are the ways you can do that is, number 1, investing time into whatever you want to do. You want to make sure your time is not wasted into doing things that does not pertain to your goal or to your purpose. That is the first thing. And then secondly, you want to make sure you cut yourself from association that are not going anywhere that you are going. You want to make sure you stop mingling with people that are not going anywhere. Even the Bible said it. The Bible says, the wise walk with the wise. If you want to become successful in your area of gifting or in your purpose, you want to make sure you stick to people that are in that field. You want to make sure you stick with successful people. You want to make sure, even if they are not present, you can watch their videos on YouTube and stuff like that. You can just keeping up with them. But if there is any association around you that they are not leading you anywhere, just cut off from them. If not, you will never achieve your purpose. You will never. Just like we all know, eagles, they don't mingle with pigeons. They don't mingle with every other birds. No. Eagles fly with eagles, and if you want to fly with pigeons, then you know that you are just in the lower category of the flying species. But mingle with people that are like-minded, people that will push you forward. Not mingling with people that when you tell them about your dream or you tell them about your vision, all they will do is just kill it. They'll be like, you? Not you where we know. Hey, now you want to become president. I beg, just go sit down for that your desk where they do your office job. Just go stay there. They will just kill your dream. They will kill your vision. So just stop hanging around with people that are not leading you to anywhere. You want to work with successful people. You want to be committed. And another thing is, you want to make sure you shut down your mind from public opinion, from tradition, from culture, from anything that will put you in that place where you will not fulfill your purpose. You want to make sure you shut down your mind from all those things. You want to make sure you shut down your mind. So be committed. Be radical for your purpose. Be so stubborn for your purpose. Be crazy about it. I am so crazy. I am so passionate about my vision, about my dream, and about my purpose. I'm so passionate about it that I sincerely don't care what anybody has to say. So long as, you know, whatever they are saying, I don't even pay attention to anything that anybody is saying, because I have a goal in front of me. I have a vision. I have people to save. Like I said earlier, your purpose is meant for you to use it and save the world. You know, there are people that are dying. They are waiting for you. You know, so you cannot afford to be just mingling with people that are taking you nowhere. You know, so shut down your mind. Pursue that thing that you want to do. Even Jesus Christ, he had to shut down his mind from public opinion, from what people had to say, from culture, from tradition. You know, he came straight, focused on what he wants to do, and his end goal was the cross. And even when the devil tried, even Peter tried, people tried, so many things happened. But you know what? He never paid attention to any one of them. Why? He was so passionate. His eyes were on the cross. I want you to imagine your sphere of influence, that area that God has called you, your purpose. Put it on that cross and just let your eyes be focused on that cross, and you will be committed to it. And anybody that wants to drag you down, you will be I am so quick to kick out people that want to bring me down. I am so quick to kick them out. I am so quick to, you know, if I speak with you and you are beginning to say things to my mind that will make me to begin to think less of what I'm supposed to do, trust me, I'm never going to call you again. I'm so quick. I don't care. This is the point that I have gotten to. And until you are radical, stubborn, and crazy for your purpose, you will not even smell. You will not smell that success. You will not smell it at all. You will not smell it. You will not smell it at all. And then the next point that I want to make is, oh yeah, and also part of being committed is you want to get a good role model. You want to get a good role model. I know some of us, we are, most of us that are on Pastor Sunday's platform, you know, we look up to him. We see the things that he does, you know, waking up and doing this live broadcast and writing all these articles, books, and so many things that he's doing. You know, once you listen to him, it gives you booze. Like, you know, it gives you booze. I don't know how to put it, but get a good role model. You know, get a good role model. Aside of Pastor Sunday, one of my role model is Inyala Vanzan. I love her so much. I listen to her videos. Because she deals with things that relate to abuse and all those kind of things, bringing healing to people and all those kind of things. You know, so get a good role model. You don't have to, see them physically. You can get their books. I know there are some of us here that love Miles Monroe so much, you know, and we read his books. When you have a good role model, the way, as closer as you are to them, your mind, you begin to think like them. Your mind begins to readjust to their way of life, but still, you are still going in your own direction. So that is all about being committed. And then the fourth point, so the first point that I gave is discovering your purpose, which I showed us how. And then secondly, I said you want to get your vision, write it down, and then you want to break your vision down into plans, daily plans. You want to create a system that will help you to get to your final goal, you know. And the third thing is you want to be committed. You want to be crazy about whatever you're doing. You want to be really, really crazy. You want to go cuckoo in such a way that you will be so dedicated into doing what you are doing, you know. And then the fourth point that I'm going to make is you must be in the presence of God. When I say be in the presence of God, I'm not talking about I'm not saying going to church is good, but I'm not talking about going to church and all those kind of, no, that's not what I'm saying. Being in the presence of God is, first of all, creating time to master the presence of God. When let's say you wake up, maybe, I don't know, any time, or let's say you are in the train or wherever you are, you want to just what I do is I close my eyes. I use my imagination to picture God sitting down with me, having a conversation. Sometimes I talk with him and then I even laugh, and then I'll be telling him that I know you are laughing, let's laugh together. My point is, master the presence of God in such a way that anywhere you are, you have that thing in your mind that you carry the presence of God. You carry the image of God. Because I'm telling you the truth, you cannot fulfill your purpose if you and God, if you and the presence of God are not together, if the both of you are not in sync, if the both of you are not like water and oil, you can't separate them. It's impossible to separate oil and water once you put oil in water. So you want to make sure you have that presence of God, so that you can hear him at any time. He will talk to you. He will say to you, go right, you go right, go left. You want to make sure you master the presence of God. And in doing that, the more you get to spend time with God, the more you know about him, the more you develop confidence, the more you develop courage, the more you develop your core values, your standards, you develop the more he reveals to you who you are. And I want to say this here. It is not easy in this world that we are living in. There's so much pressure on every side. Everywhere you turn to is pressure, pressure, pressure. So you want to make sure that you have a strong relationship with God. I am not talking about the one we go to church and get lost in the crowd. No, I'm talking about the one just you and God, where you talk to God, where you relate with him, where you converse with him. You are having your shower, you are talking to him, you are eating, you are dialoguing with him. And that is why the Bible says, come, let us reason together. You cannot reason together with God if you haven't mastered his presence. Because when he's saying something, you will not know what he is saying. You would just be lost, You want to make sure you have that presence of God. I'm telling you, because there's so much pressure everywhere. Everywhere you go, there is pressure. You want to make sure you master the presence of God. So the last point that I want to make quickly, before we round up, is, as an unmarried individual, you want to make sure you avoid sex. I don't even want to call it fornication, and I don't want to call it premarital sex, so that it's just like garnishing it. No, I don't want to garnish it. You want to avoid sex. You are not married. You have to make sure you avoid it. If you have avoided like a plague, like a disease, avoid it like a dagger that will go into your heart and destroy you, because that is the truth. You want to make sure you cannot fulfill your purpose, and you cannot reason with God. You cannot be successful. You cannot stand out. It is impossible for you to be unique. It is impossible for you to achieve that which you are born to achieve if you keep engaging in sex, as in sleeping with somebody that you're not yet married to. You want to make sure you avoid it. You want to run away from it, and for some of us that think having protective sex, it does us good. It only keeps us away from some certain sickness, but it doesn't immune you from soul ties, you can check out, there's this one of our lovely sister, her name is Rose Ann. You know, she talked about soul ties, I think last week, and she's also talking about soul ties again, I think on Tuesday. So you want to check her timeline and go and listen to her video on soul ties. You will get to understand what I am saying. So it doesn't immune you, and you because our body is the temple that God dwells. God will just leave you alone the moment you carry your body, because the sexual sin is a sin against your body. It's not a direct sin to God. When you go and sleep with somebody that is not yet your husband or your wife, it does not it does not how do I put it? It doesn't affect God. It only affects you. It only affects you. It doesn't affect God. And God will just quietly carry himself out of you, because you are supposed to keep his temple. You are supposed to keep that body pure, clean, holy. And I want to say this. It is possible to live sexually free if you really know God. And that is why, for some of us that have been practicing religiosity, it is impossible for us to stay away from sexual sin, because we are just lost in the crowd. If you have a strong relationship with God, if you have a connection with God that is unbreakable, not like all those ones that we used to go and lift up our hands in the church. No, if you really know God, if you really love God, you will obey that particular commandment that says you should avoid it. You should avoid it. It is possible. It is very, very possible to live sexually free if you have a strong relationship with God, if you really love God, and if you really know God. And if you love your vision, you love your purpose, and you want to make impact in this generation, and you want to really leave your footprint on this earth, you have to make sure you avoid it. As in, run away from it. Run away from it. So those are all the 5 points that will help you to maintain your wholeness, to maintain your uniqueness, to maintain that which God has called you to do. Those are just the things that you can just be practicing them. Practice them daily, practice them weekly, and before you know, weeks will turn to months, and then months will turn to years, and before you know it, it's just easy for you. It becomes really easy for you. It is not an impossible thing. It is very possible. And from all these points that I have made, I want to ask you all a question. Those of us that are married, I want to ask you this question. Are you really tired of that job that you are doing? Do you really think that the salary they are paying you worth it? Don't you think that what they are paying you is less of what you deserve? You know, some of us, we go to our jobs, we complain, we whine, it's frustrating, we hate the job. So if you are really tired of that job, if you are really tired of collecting salary and everything goes to bills, and then you don't have anything else, you're not satisfied, you're not happy, you're not fulfilled, you are not even making impact. Even if the money is not even enough for you and your family, talk more of to go and help the area that God has called you to. Are you tired? If you are tired, then now is the time. Your future is today. Your future is not tomorrow. Your future is today, because tomorrow never ends. So you can make a good use of your today. You can make a good use of your today. You are born to do something. You are born to make an impact. You are born to change that sphere of influence that God has called you. It doesn't matter. It could be entertainment, it could be family, politics, anything, whatever it is, so long as it's to the benefit of mankind. Trust me, it's possible. So, how does all this point that I have made, how can they help you in marriage? How can they help you in marriage? Now, if you know your purpose in life, before you get married, the person that comes into your life understands that this is what she's born to do. This is what she's doing. This is her vision. This is her goal. This is her plan. So I want to make sure as a man or as a woman, I don't stand in their way. That is how discovering your purpose will help you in your marriage. And then, secondly, having plans. For having those having those plans that will help us to get to our final destination. If somebody comes, they want to get married to you, they can actually see your schedule. They can see that this time is for reading, this time is for personal development, this time is for you to, do something that has to do. They are already used to that system that you have already created as an unmarried individual. So they want to make sure that, you create some sort of ways on how to fit in the person's system and your system to enable the both of you to live peacefully in the marriage, so that there will be no contention, there will be no problem, so that your marriage will not suffer as a result of your purpose, And then third thing that I talk about, the presence of God. When you master the presence of God, it's going to help you in your marriage, because trust me, there are times, we are human beings. There are times where your spouse will want to drive you crazy. I've heard of some men that will say, if not for God, this woman, I would have slapped you for saying what you just said, So, but just knowing the presence of having that presence of God will help you not to do crazy things in your marriage. It will help you not to, begin to do things that you're not meant to do, And then the fourth, the last thing, which I said, avoiding sex, it helps you to build self-control. When you get married and then your spouse is busy, fulfilling their purpose, traveling and doing all those things, how are you going to live if you don't have self-control? If you cannot control your sexual urges and desires? So now that you are unmarried, if you stay away from it, once you get married, it will help you. It will help you so that when the person travels, when the person is not physically present, you'll be able to control yourself, so you don't go committing adultery, so you don't go sleeping around, So that is how all these things are going to help us in marriage. And that is why I said our singleness is even into marriage. You need your single self. Because you're not going to be needy all the time, and nobody will be babysitting you, So those are all the ways that we can maintain our singleness even in marriage. Well, please, if you have any question, we've gone way out of time. If you have any question, or if you have any concern, or if there is anything, please, if you can let me know on the comment section. And I also hope that I've been able to help someone today. I hope so, that I've been able to make some sense. I hope I've been able to add value to our life. Okay, I'm just going to quickly, in 2 minutes, just read what few of the comments that we have here. Okay, Chidima said, yes, so pressure all around, but getting the sanity from and in God's presence. Definitely, you need the presence of God to help you not to be able to, all those pressure. It's just too much. And then Anastasia said, it is possible to live sexually free if you have strong relationship with God. Definitely. Gift said, sex before marriage empower the devil to destroy our happiness, killing our good dreams. Yes, actually, I hope that probably maybe next month or anytime, I will be able to come and just deal with this issue, so that all of us as unmarried people, we can understand how dangerous that sex is. Sex is just probably 2 to 3 minutes pleasure, depending on how high the man is or depending on how high the woman is. But just that few minutes can destroy a whole lot. And me myself, I'm a living testimony to that. And I hope I'll be able to come and share that testimony someday with us. And then Gift said, the presence of God gives you inner peace, peace that passes through all understanding. Definitely. Okay, thank you all so much. Please, if I can ask every one of you to share this video, believing that it's gonna help somebody out there to, you know, understand what you know, they can do as they are running around in this life. Please share the video. Please share the video. Please share the video. And if you haven't read my article that I wrote on the act of wedding, part 1 and part 2, please, it's on my timeline. If you can have a read of that article, so it will help you to prepare, to know, to restructure your mindset concerning marriage. Because I had a small experience on marriage, not just small, but I had them in bits and pieces, so I'll just be sharing them little by little. So I want to say thank you all so much for joining me this evening. I love you all so much. Thank you, every one of you that are here. I'm grateful to God for every one of your life. And I also want to say to you that you should keep shining, keep being the best, and don't forget, your dreams are not impossible if they come from God. Have a wonderful evening. I love you all so much. Bye everyone.